Still sounds good. Hey, welcome back to the Real World Garage. Here we go. Hey there, viewers. Welcome back to the Real World Garage. Wait, somebody's already using that. Hey guys, how's it going? Wait a minute, that one's taken too. Brontosaurus Brian here. Today, wait. Hello, and welcome back to the Real World Garage. Just wanted to do a quick shout out to a few of the YouTube guys that I really enjoy. You got Eric O over at South Main Auto, and you've got Musty One and the Pterodactyl over at Terrell Fixes All. All great YouTube channels, just poking a little fun at them. Which these old car hobbies, that's what we always want to do, is try to keep it fun. If it ain't fun, we need to move on. We need to do something different. So anyway, let's come along. I'll show you what we got going today. We're doing the putting a radiator in this old car. I had to things may get a little shaky, but I had to have my radiator rebuilt. I'm sure you saw that. We talked about that in the intro video. But we got to do a few other things while we're here. Might as well do some maintenance. So I had to got the lower radiator hose. We've got a new upper radiator hose. And last few times I ran it, I talked earlier about I was getting coolant all over the top of the motor and was getting tired of that. Well, one of the last times I opened the hood, I noticed that I had coolant leaking right in front of the carburetor and the intake. So I was like, what in the world? So I figured I was just gonna have to reseal it. It's coming through pretty good on the camera. These old cheap pot metal, aluminum, cast, whatever this garbage is here from Hong Kong, they just don't hold up. Even if you got good coolant in it over a period of time, as you can see, that inner lip just went away. So you can see now this one, that's what it's supposed to look like, be able to hold an O-ring. So we got that. We've got, of course, got some new clamps and the new stick hose to replace the pieces on our decorative show hose. But I can go over here and let you look. We've already started doing a little pre-work. Started doing some of that the other day, and I'll show you what we got going here. You can see where the radiator neck goes. Mounts to the intake manifold down there. We'll discuss that and what we need to do to put it back together right and be trouble-free and leak-free. Okay, so I've got my brass wire brush, got my tap, and as I said, it's better if you have a bottoming tap, but in this case all I have on the house is the starter tap, which is fine. It'll do what you want to do. But you can actually run these down in the bolt holes, clean all the yuck and stuff out of the bolt holes. And then after you get it all cleaned out, you can, let's try it again. Erico. Shout out to Erico. You get your old brake club parts cleaner, shoot a little bit down in there, get it cleaned up, pack a little compressed air, blow the bolt holes out, and voila. And then it's all cleaned up and ready to go. Like I said, you want to be careful with aluminum. You don't want to gouge it out and create yourself problems where you gotta end up trying to seal it with silicone and all that other stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get our water neck put back on. You can see a bowl of hot tap water, just as hot as we could stand. I put this O-ring in that hot water, trying to get it to relax. Where it was laying in the packaging, it's kind of all bent up, and it didn't want to lay real nice into the groove. So if you'll take your rubber O-rings, I think I've showed that on some other videos, and place them in hot water, it helps. Doesn't work always, but I really didn't want to try to put any glop or slop on this O-ring to try to hold it in place if I could get it to stay on its own. There's just more stuff I have to clean up later. Got to detail this engine. We got a car show coming up at our church next week, and just got to do some detail work on the engine. But let's get this water neck thrown in. Get this O-ring to stay where it's supposed to. Whoop, not to mess up. Let's got our brandy new. There you are. Brandy new thermostat from Napper. So let's get that thrown in. 180-degree thermostat. Let's get that set off in the little groove down there. There we go. And water neck. The ring seems to be staying okay. Drop our bolt. Carefully fish this down in there. Line up our bolt holes. Everything started by hand. Oh, come on. There you go. Really tight working quarters. I really didn't want to fool with the belts and all the bracketry to give myself a whole lot more room to work on this. All this stuff's kind of a pain to get lined back up right. Not impossible, it's just, if you can do it without taking it off, the less you take off, easier the job is usually. Because all this is working right, so I don't want to upset the apple carts, as they say. And of course, I don't have my right tools with me over here. Go to the other side of the shop, grab a couple tools. I'll be right back. Okay, I think we got everything we need now. So 9/16 extension to get me up above the crowd here. The thing to keep in mind putting these water neck on, it's like anything, tighten a little bit each side, down just a little bit at a time. Don't get carried away and tighten one side down too much. You run the risk of cracking these things. So, and it doesn't have to be like, gorilla monster tight. You're trying not to strip out your bolt holes. But it would have been nice to not get in a hurry and forget to put the anti-seize on. Take it back apart. I think I can take them out one at a time now that they're snug down, but I'm probably not going to do that. Loosen them up, well, put them on. Alright, now it's loose, I'll take them out one at a time. Why'd y'all let me do that? You sat right there and watched me do it. Didn't say a word. Hard to get good help, you guys. Come on now. Alright, what I'm going to use, I've got this, it's a little, I don't know that it's any better than like traditional anti-seize. This is thread lubricant with CRC, but it's not the aluminum style paste. I don't know if y'all have ever used that aluminum style paste or the, or like copper seize, but if you, this stuff is kind of like made like grease. And you don't have to get carried away with it. All you have to really do, get where you can see, is just bottom few threads. Just put a little bit on there. and let it focus. There you go. You know, you don't have to get carried away. It doesn't take a whole lot of this stuff, but just put it on there, and then as you tighten the bolt down, it'll distribute itself. Oh. All right, let's take this one down the hand. Touches. Tension on it. All right, let's take this one off. Not a major mistake. And you know, if you hadn't forgot it all together, then if you had forgotten it all together, it's not like it's the end of the world, but you know, it sure is nice to come back apart really easy with hand tools and not have to drill out broken bolts and all of that, such as that. And that's always a nightmare. So, you know, we'll just go back and fix it and move on. Nice and even. I don't see my O-ring puking out anywhere like it came out of the groove. So, all right, got that part done. I guess now we can see about putting this heavy copper radiator back over in here. So let me get it reset up and get the camera a better angle, and we'll get that going. Okay, here we go. Grab the radiator real quick, and it's always fun working on a well-dressed car like one of these. You know, always makes you nervous. Kind of like the first time I ever drilled on when I was working at the big truck dealer, and I had to put some corner mirrors on it. It's a brand new truck. It was my first time to ever do it, and I had to drill the hood to put those mirrors on. I was as nervous. I don't get nervous like that much anymore, but you know, you always want to be careful, you know, because you're dealing with, you know, paint job on this car was done 15, 16 years ago. So if you scratch something, it's just a pain to touch it up, you know. So anyway, we're just gonna be careful. Get it slipped off in there. Try not to beat the radiator up. Try not to beat up the car. Alright, situated. Down here, get that out of the way. So that comes up, come up with that just a little bit. Take a look. All right. Oh yeah, we gotta come up a good little bit because I'm looking at that lower radiator hose connection. I didn't think I was gonna have enough room. Like, what changed? Nothing changed. You just need to get it lined up. Okay. All right. Grab a couple of bolts. Let's see. How this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. My clamps for my fan, I think, utilize these same bolts. That one started. Let's go over here. bottom. Let's get a couple more bolts. Why's that one not lined up? A little light. Red needs to come this way. Here we go. Now we're cooking with grease. Now we're cooking. Alright, that one started. Let's see if this one's starting on. Oh yeah, piece of cake. Perfect. Alright, now we got that going our way. Let's talk a little bit about this lower radiator hose. All right, here's the deal on this lower radiator hose. This hose was a custom made hose. Well, it wasn't custom made. Let me say this correctly. This was a custom lengthened hose. It was a brand new hose back in the day, but it was something that had been on my brother-in-law's hot rod and had been discarded and was laying on the shop floor when we were building this car. So it had the right curve in it, and it was just a lot longer. It moved it further this way. So I took and found a reinforcing wire to keep the hose from collapsing, inserted it, and then took and just kept cutting it off until I got the right angle. I don't even know what that hose came off of back then. It was something we had laying around the hot rod shop. We were building, and it worked, so we just went with it. So I had to go to the local AutoZone, and I had the guy there work with me while it's not exact, an exact copy. I'm pretty confident that we can make it work. I've just got to try to figure out where to cut it to get the right length on it. So I'm going to cut it long, and we'll trim as necessary. He said he wasn't exactly sure what this was off of, but it's large enough. He said that he felt like it was off, probably went to a diesel truck, because we just walked in the back and started matching until we figured out something to make it work. So let's see, I need to cut it probably right about there, I would say, to give us enough length. So let me work on coming up with something to cut this hose with smoothly and neatly, and we'll cut it and get back with you, show you what we got.